Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Clickbait. We have some Bachelor Nation breakdown. Some Gabby breaks her silence on Dance with the Stars. We'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to break down the episode, and then we have a special guest coming on, Jessenia. You know her from Matt James's season. She was on Bachelor in Paradise last season. She is also on the current season, but she just went home due to her breakup. I think it was a breakup with Andrew. Breakup-ish, yeah. So we'll get into all that. But before we do, what's new with everyone? If anything's new, really.
Did anyone try to get Taylor Swift tickets? Because I heard.
I heard about the Taylor Swift ticket fiasco, and I guess because everybody went on her site at once.
It was a disaster.
Why would I try to do that? Why would I try to do that? There are. I just have to say this. Listen,
it became a game.
Look, Taylor.
Did you get them, Tia? Did you get the tickets?
No, I never got them.
Ugh.
Honestly, I just feel, this is just my personal opinion. If you are over 30, you gotta let the girlies, the young Swifties get the tickets. You've seen Taylor before. Have you seen her before?
I have, yeah.
No!
And it was amazing. Same venue and everything. And it was late August. It was hot as hell. And we had the best time.
You gotta let the young Swifties get their fix. Who knows if she's gonna have another one?
But she hit her grandma era, and now we're back in the moody era. I don't know. She's she's staying my age.
She's staying my age.
I'm gonna have a 5-month-old at that point. I'm gonna need a night out, and I couldn't get a damn ticket. And there's 3 dates here.
That is perfect. That's perfect for your night out too.
Oh,
perfect
yeah, it's the weekend of Cinco de Mayo. Get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't get the ticket. So what are you gonna do?
I didn't get a single ticket. Maybe I can stand outside the stadium. I don't know. No, yeah, I'm gonna try again today. There's a few pre-sales. I'm gonna try again.
I just need y'all to know. Yeah, now you should try. Y'all got to let the young Swifties get their tickets in. Look,
they did.
I hope all the young Swifties, because they was on it. They was.
I even had a pre-sale code. You had to be selected to be part of the verified sale event, and so many people were in my DMs at least you got a code. I'm like, bitch, I didn't get tickets though, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, I heard people were sitting in the waiting room for, the internet waiting room for 3 hours.
Waiting. 3, Joe. 3 is nothing. I logged in at 10 and finally got in to even look at the tickets at about 5 p.m.
Wow.
And every time you would click one, it would be gone.
Wow.
Are you a diehard Taylor Swift fan?
No, it was just the principle. At that point, I couldn't give up.
Yeah.
Well, listen, but you said listen, I know going to a good concert is a good time. And
she has those little light up bracelets that are all synced up. It's
wow.
Coldplay. I went to a Coldplay concert and they did that.
Yeah, it's really
that was
fun.
the first time that I saw that. So, but I have not been to a Taylor Swift concert. I listen, the Swifties. I don't even want. See, I like
Shannon
her music.
said they're feral, and that's true.
Yeah, I like her music. I really do. But I wouldn't consider myself a Swiftie. You know what I mean?
No,
I'm a part of the Beehive. You know what I mean?
I've also waited for tickets for Beyonce too.
Yeah,
I cried at her concert.
Yeah, see, sometimes I'd be like, look, y'all young Beehivers, y'all don't even get it.
Wow.
Move out of my way.
I feel like you two could really talk about this for quite some time.
Yeah, Joe, what are you even doing here?
So
yeah, okay. So sorry, Joe. Sorry, Joe. Who would you wait in line for to see? Who would you wait to see?
For tickets
for a concert? Yeah,
for
the concert.
I don't know.
See,
I really don't. Yeah, there's nobody I'd be like, I have to go see this concert.
I mean, I wouldn't go physically stand in line, but I'll freaking refresh my browser every day.
There's no Beehive, there's no Swiftie team, there's none of that you're into, huh? Okay.
No, not really.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, look, to be continued to you. We'll see. I hope you get the tickets now. Now that a few young Swifties got them,
I know. I'll let you know. Shoot, it's going to be a bunch of freaking middle-aged people like me there. Okay, let's get into the Bachelor Nation breakdown. There's not a whole lot. in the news this week. But first off, Emily Ferguson announced that she is pregnant. And Emily is one of the twins, the Fergie twins.
Yep.
Emily and Haley, right?
Yes, we had them. They came on Clickbait.
Yeah.
They came on, that wasn't that long ago, but they were both planning their weddings.
It was pre-wedding, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we had them together and they were great. They were really great. I liked them.
That video made me cry.
Oh, that was so sweet. Oh, yeah. If you haven't seen the video, check out Emily's Instagram. At the very beginning, it's a little clip of like the ultrasound tech saying, if you see right there, that's the baby. Oh, it's so sweet.
I actually have to look. I didn't see this. Yeah.
It's so
It's hard to hear
cute.
at first. You have to turn it up really loud. And then it's a sweet little ultrasound. But yeah, it's precious.
Do you remember when the doctor first said that to you, Tia, about your baby? Was it emotional? Did you cry?
Well, yeah, it's like the ultrasound tech that's like, oh, there's the baby. No, I didn't cry. Neither me or Taylor cried. And we haven't cried like seeing him yet. It's just, we're both just in awe the whole time.
Yes. I guess I'm just a crybaby. Sorry.
Oh, well, I am too, which is weird. But she was just so straight to the point and matter of fact. She was like, oh, there it is.
Okay.
I was like, damn, we didn't even like work up to it or anything. She just put the thing on and was like, there it is.
Yep.
Crying over Taylor Swift tickets, but the sight of your fetus, nothing.
I also cried yesterday because my shoes didn't fit. I was supposed to go to a fun event yesterday, and my shoes wouldn't fit on my feet, so I cried over that, but not seeing the child.
Was it swollen?
Oh yeah, my feet are swollen, and like all my shoes are tight right now.
Well, you're 8 months now. You're right. You're 8 months pregnant.
Like 8.5. Yeah.
Wow. That's like you could technically pop right now.
I mean, truly, yeah. Like,
can you be the clickbait?
He'd be okay.
Yeah, you be the clickbait. Like Tia's water breaks during recording.
Wow. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Okay, back to Emily being pregnant.
Happy for Emily, and we can't.
It's a really cool journey. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see when Haley also gets pregnant. Because I know they said they like to do things kind of like at the same time.
Together.
Oh my gosh, that baby was.
Wasn't the baby jumping? Right?
Yeah.
I thought that was so cute. So Bella twins, their babies are the same Z's, right? They were pregnant at the same time?
Yeah. Yeah, they were pregnant at the same time.
Cute.
Yeah.
Cute.
I wonder if twins are like synced up on their cycles at the same time. Like if they ovulate.
Well, I think that like if you around each other a lot, I think that the more the women, they are clearly around each other a lot. So I would bet that they are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Same thing with the Kardashians.
I bet Haley will be pregnant soon if they want to be.
Yeah. I'm not really experienced in this topic, so.
But that would be cool to have someone to do that whole journey with. It's always nice to have someone that's really close.
Yeah, I would think.
See, I feel opposite. I'm like, no, I don't want to get up right now. Can you do this for me, twin? Can you get that for me?
That's why their husbands can do it.
I mean, they husbands be working. They husbands gone half the damn time. They playing hockey and shit. I would be like, girl, get up. She would be like, no, you get up. My stomach, my feet is swollen too.
I wonder if no, it's not off season for hockey right now. They just
started.
They just started.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Gosh, yes, that's rough.
So Haley working right now. Shout out to Haley.
Right,
you working.
Helping her out. All right, next in our breakdown, Gabby finally talks about her breakup from Erich. Didn't we talk about this last week that it was reported that they broke up? Or that they did break up, but we hadn't heard from Gabby.
Yeah, this has been an actual 3-part breakup now.
Yes, speculation.
There was speculation, the accident, like on Dancing with the Stars, the media after the show, she said... They
were supporting each other from afar.
Yes, which was kind of like, well, sounds like you broke up.
Right.
And then like a week later, it dropped that they did break up. And then I think... She just explained it. I think she just explained it in more detail, right?
I didn't watch the Dancing with the Stars episode, but they always have like a story to tell. Well, you were on there, Joe.
Yeah.
There's always like a story that like kind of ties back into the dance. And she said something about, well, I just experienced a breakup, and I don't remember what else she said, but yeah, she straight up said we broke up, and they just weren't in sync.
That one did not last very long at all.
No, it did not. So it was like 2 months after the finale.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I mean, I don't know how much more we could really talk about
cover this.
It really just seems like they,
people aren't on the same page. Then, well, it always helps when couples are in the same city. It's a little harder when they're separate, but they were in the same city, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. Yeah. And I feel like we've said before on this podcast, like maybe that when someone is like super busy after the fact, like after the finale, when they need to be working on their relationship, it's even harder. And with Dancing with the Stars, that schedule is kind of nuts.
Yeah. It's, I mean, I don't know, based off of their breakup statements and like Erich's breakup statement, I feel like they're just like cool with each other. And it just seemed like, like we just both realize we just don't really vibe.
Right.
So.
But good news is she made it to the Dancing with the Stars finale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And people are obviously loving her because they're voting for her. So
yeah,
she's got that to focus on. That helps a little bit.
Do we know? We should know this. How many couples are in the finale? Usually it's 4. I'm assuming Charlie D'Amelio's one of them. Gabby, and then I would think maybe Wayne Brady and Whitney.
Is Vinny still on or no?
No, he's gone.
When they switched to Disney Plus, I haven't watched.
I know.
I just love it being on ABC. It's just so much easier.
Right.
I don't know, but anyway, go Gabby for making it to the finals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, Gabby, she's in the finals. And she's single.
She could win. She could win.
Who knows? Maybe she's talking to somebody now. I know there's some speculation that I don't know if you guys saw this, her and Vinny from the Jersey Shore are like
they were
talking.
flirty.
Yeah.
They were flirty in Instagram comments.
I kind of love that. I don't know about you, but I love that.
I was kind of into it. I don't know.
I love that. I love that for her.
He was on the same season as her. So you get to know people really quick on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like also like anytime a guy or girl hypes the opposite sex up, people are always like, ooh, So, but if they are dating, cute, cute.
Even if they're flirting, get your flirt on, girl.
Cute. I'm into it. Cute. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, that's like all we have in the news, other than
we had Vinny on
Paradise.
the podcast, and I still
really
love that. Yeah, I still love him.
I love
very that
beginning.
episode.
He was like one of our I would say first 10 guests. Should we break down the episode?
Yes. Should we? I mean, Jesus.
No, God, there was this single thought that I had about both of them combined, and I already forgot what it was, and I think it was a decent thought. I hate when that happens.
Well, here, you want to, should we just kind of talk about the main points, and then I'm hoping that sparks your memory?
Every time I see these, I just have to say, every time I see this season, maybe it's because of the split, I don't know, but like there's that Beyonce song where she'd be like flip flop flip flip flop and ass like everyone's it's just so much. It's
there's a lot going on. I would say the main drama in the first episode of the week was Kate and
episode
Logan.
12.
Vinny was on episode 12. Okay, pretty close. Pretty close.
Kate and Logan again.
Kate and Logan again. It's hard to watch. It really. I watch it. I'm just like, Kate, just break up with him. Like you clearly don't like him.
I remembered my thought. That literally already sparked it.
Go for it.
I have not been the biggest Logan fan this whole time. I just got like a vibe from him. Just from his look,
from
his
Bachelorette,
haircut, from the Bachelorette. At this point, I feel sorry for him. I feel for him. I feel like he's just trying to do his best, and he's being like degraded by this woman that says she's a wower and is used to wowing. And I truly feel sorry for him. And I feel like I don't know if this was the first episode of the week or the second, when Rachel and Gabby came on and just dogged the poor guy.
Yeah.
As
I
if
didn't
they
like
were
that.
still like bitter about it. And I'm like, okay, that is enough. Like, the poor guy is trying his best. And it made me
Also,
want to
like,
stand
how
up for
well
him a
did-
little bit.
Is
And
he
also,
trying
like,
his best?
But also, how well do they know Logan too? Because, like, I'm pretty sure someone said like he's like a. What did they say? I don't know if they, said like, we don't.
They said that they don't think that he's changed, and
Yeah, it's
Rachel
like,
said
how
she
do-
doesn't have respect for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he's trying his best. I don't know the guy either.
I don't
but
think
like,
he's-
damn.
But here's my thing. Here's my thing. I understand them saying, "Hey, here's what happened with us," and it doesn't surprise us that he's flopping or that he talks to this person or that person or whatever, that he's exploring his options, because he did that on our season. But to say that someone hasn't changed, and I could see if they had a conversation with him beforehand, like kind of how the girls went and talked, and then maybe they went and talked to the guys or something. I don't know, and maybe they heard something, Tink something, was like, oh yeah, this guy hasn't changed. I kind of get that, but I feel empathy for him because he is getting just dragged every episode. But I definitely, the fact that he was actually thinking about going on that date with the other girl that came down after him and Kate have been together, that's where I'm like, wait
Well, hell,
a
he should've.
minute.
At this point, he
see,
should have.
that's where I think he should have. I think you're wrong, Natasha. I think he should have. I think he should have went on that date. And
Kate's not going to be happy with him regardless.
Regardless of him and Kate, what I'm trying to say is him exploring his options and or staying in something longer than he should have. Like, yeah, he could have went on the date, but that is still leading to, I think, the point that they are trying to make. Like, because he could have went on the date and been a free guy and been like, listen, Kate, this isn't working out between us. You don't like me. You don't this, you don't that. But the thing is, it's like, the reason why I think, for me, the thing that kind of triggers, it's like, I've met guys who will stay in dead relationships until they meet someone else, and then it's like they'll break
They
up
have
with
a
this-
backup. They have.
Yes, they have to have a
someone ready.
backup before they can go and move on to someone else. And I get it, it's a show and you want to, you got to get the rose, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But like, I would be like, yes, Logan, if he was like, look, Kate, you not feeling me. I can tell. You keep talking, whatever. People are telling me this, people are telling me that. And then that girl comes down for a date. Oh, yeah, I'm going on that date.
He's not bold enough to do that.
That's what I'm
think,
saying.
and I just think he should have just stood up for himself a while ago.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
now
And
it's
he
just
hasn't.
getting.
It's
and
like a little puppy dog at this point being scolded for peeing on the floor. It's like, it's kind of
And it's just
sad
it's
to watch.
obnoxious to watch. But I do think that if a guy came down who Kate was attracted to and he had a ton of money and an Equinox membership, she would go.
She'd be gone.
Yeah. So
Well, I will say that everyone has been going back and forth about, tell me you don't want me to go. Tell me you don't want me to go. I mean, I do think that Kate, listen, do I think she was right for telling him not to go because she actually doesn't like him? No, she should have just been like, whatever, because she really doesn't. There's nothing about that relationship that's going to last regardless. But at the same time, she was like, don't you dare go. And he didn't. Like, at least she was honest about
I
those
think
feelings.
she was proving a point there.
Yeah.
Because when she went on the date, he didn't tell her, don't go. And she, I think, is saying, like, I don't want you to go. Don't go. And then he listened.
Right.
And I think that's, but I don't know, whatever. We'll see. They're not going to last. There's just no way. I don't think they would ever last in the real world.
Well,
but
the
that's
fact that they brought in 3 girls all at once, too, was a little shocking and interesting, knowing that everyone is sad as hell. So they brought in Lindsay, Mara, and Incy.
Yeah.
Yeah, all kind of back to back. And
Yeah.
Andrew was sleeping at one point.
I
He was
truly,
not into it.
I felt bad for all the, NC, we'll talk about that because she finds a connection with Andrew. But like Mara and Lindsay, just when you come down that late, like you just don't
It's
stand
kind
a
of
chance.
just,
That's hard. Yeah.
It's so freaking hard. It really
And like they're
is.
all high energy and ready to go, and everyone else is just exhausted. It just, can't do it anymore.
But I do like the way Lindsay did it. I thought her approach was the best. She talked to the one guy that she was interested in. He seemed like he was interested in her, but turned her down, which was a mistake. And then she just said, "You know what? I'm leaving. Like, I'm not sticking around." Where Mara's still there bouncing around, doing whatever. Okay, and then the other big thing is Andrew, NC, Jessenia. I guess we could just jump straight to, we could just go straight to the Sadie Hawkins dance. And, like, Andrew and Jessenia, I don't know. I never thought they were going to last. It didn't seem like either of them were super into each other. But then Jessenia's hurt about the way Andrew went about going out with NC, which I get it.
It's hard to see it in your face. I think was the whole if they weren't like making out and doing everything, like they're like literally in a relationship after he just told Jessenia, like, I can't get there with you. I don't know if I'll be able to get there with anyone, and I'm taking it slow.
And from what we've seen,
it's like, that don't seem slow. Seem like y'all.
Yeah.
So I get her feeling a type of way.
But also, Jessenia has been here before.
Right.
She knows how paradise works. She knows how, she just like, if she comes down and a guy is like, I'm going to take it slow, she should probably be like, well, then this isn't going to work because you can't take it slow down here.
Yep.
And he never, I feel like from what we've seen, we never saw him like talk to her after the connection with NC either. Like, we never saw if Andrew pulled Jessenia and was like, hey, I'm into NC. It's just like he just didn't look at her or talk to her anymore.
I'm sure he did, though.
Yeah, and we didn't see it. But so what did you guys think of the NC coming up, interrupting the conversation, and then Andrew telling her, I have to finish this conversation. I'll see you in a second. What did you guys think of that? Do you think that was a good idea, bad idea? What do you think?
I thought it was an awful idea.
You think he should have
by NC? I thought Andrew handled that well. I don't think he should have walked. I don't think he should have walked away because him and NC went on one date. Him and Jessenia have more history. Yeah, and they're having a conversation.
And the context wasn't Jessenia trying to be like, "Hey, you need to choose between me and NC. I'm really into you." But NC didn't know that context, and then didn't listen to Andrew anyway, and went and spiraled, and then came back, and it was just.
Yeah, I like the fact that he said, I want to be friends with her after this. Like, I care about how she's feeling
about her
feelings.
Now.
Yeah. And so, because it wasn't like, and I think that was the telltale of like NC, like, she's not having a great time right now, and she's thinking of me, of this person, and I want to talk this through. It wasn't like, I don't know. So, yeah. That was hard to watch.
That was hard to watch. It was.
Also, just regardless, like, Andrew's story on this season, I just think that, he said some things when he was leaving that were like, I actually wrote it down because it was like, ooh, eek. He said there's this bar that he set with Teddy and no one else could match it. Now, I do want to like talk about this a little bit because in some cases, like Joe, you went in for one person, it worked out. And if it didn't work out, and you told me multiple times, like, listen, if this doesn't work out with Serena, I'm out, right? Like that, and that was sort of.
Yeah, but I also had a little experience where Andrew didn't have any experience going down there.
No.
Yeah, but like I knew the way paradise works. So my situation, if it didn't work with Serena, I was out because I just know how it's going to. I think I know how it's going to go. Where Andrew, it not working out with Teddy, I get why he stuck around.
No, I get why he stuck around as well. That's not what I was going to say. I wasn't going to say he shouldn't have left. That's not what I was going to say. Because what I was going to say is going into paradise, I think you do have certain, whether you have people in mind or you don't, the first person you have your connection with, if it goes longer than a week, I think you've put you've put your open heart, you've put your open mind, you've put all of the your feelings and openness into this person. The same thing happened to me when I was on Paradise. I put all of my openness into it. And every single person that I talked to after, they kind of got like my closeness, my brokenness after this thing. They didn't get open, shiny, happy me like I was in the beginning with anyone that I would have been with, is what I'm trying to say. And like with Andrew, that's just what I'm seeing. It's like he came in with such high hopes for him and Teddy, and he didn't have those high hopes with Jessenia. He didn't have those high hopes with Brittany. He didn't have the, because he just couldn't. He's still dealing with what he was going through, I think, or what happened. And it's like no girl, no person, would have walked on that beach and would have wowed him or matched that energy, because he didn't have that openness that he had from the beginning. And I struggled with that too, staying on the beach after my first thing didn't work out, right?
Yeah.
So I think that happens sometimes with a lot of people. I mean, it happened, I think, with Aaron as well on our first season with Tammy. It was like every other person that he talked to, he couldn't get to that open place, is what I mean. And sometimes, the reason why I brought you up, Joe, is because sometimes people lock in, like Brandon and Serene. They lock in and it does work out, and you can keep that openness and that open heart with that person throughout the whole time. That's what I meant. I don't think he should have left either, because who knows, maybe something could have happened. He wouldn't have known, right?
Yeah, I guess and that all makes sense. I think when most people, I think majority of people that go down the Paradise set the bar really high for themselves. And they want it to be perfect, and they want it to meet the perfect person, and for it to click, kind of how it went for Brandon and Serene. I think everybody hopes that's what happens with them, and then when it doesn't, they're lost because they don't know what to expect and what to do.
Yeah, and it's not like the other people that they end up dating along the way aren't great. It's just you're just not into it anymore.
Yeah.
And I think because Jessenia had been there before, just like you said, like she had those same high hopes for herself, double, because now I'm coming back out here. I don't want the same thing to happen. And I think listening to Jessenia talk to Andrew, it was more like she was looking for validation because she was really upset with herself. And I can't wait to talk to her about it. But
yeah.
It
we'll
seems
talk to
like
her about all that.
Yeah, she was really like kind of sad about how it happened with for herself, like putting all these eggs in the basket for herself. But
I'm sure it hurt too, seeing that Andrew did have a little spark with NC, because I feel like that spark wasn't necessarily there with Brittany or with Jessenia, but it was there a little bit with NC, and like maybe he could have gotten there with her. He just was not in a place.
It was kind of there with Brittany. It was a little. I mean,
oh yeah.
So the question
and then
is,
she switched. I can't keep up.
The split week happened.
The question
That's
is,
right.
why was Jessenia sticking around? Because they're clearly. I mean, we didn't see a spark. I don't think any of the viewers saw a spark. It just didn't seem like anything. It just seemed like they were both sticking around,
Kind of hanging on.
Because they didn't really want to leave. They didn't want to give up on the experience, and they had each other to just be like, I'll give you a rose, you should give me a rose.
But didn't Jessenia say Andrew was like the top person on her list?
Yeah, but so what?
And did Andrew tell someone that pulled him to talk that he was in a relationship with Jessenia? Did he tell Mara that?
He did say that.
Because remember when Mara pulled him?
He did say that. He did say that. He did say that. Yep. He did. He did.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, like he's just, I mean, listen, Andrew, I think he was trying and it didn't work out. And every single girl that came, he just wanted to see. And like, but also, listen, him and Teddy didn't seem like they were so, oh my God, to either. You know what I mean?
It's almost like the unknown. Like he didn't know what they could have been.
I think he needs that closure that he didn't get, and he's thinking about that closure. He's on that beach thinking about that closure.
Regardless, I've seen people
I think
like...
he got the closure. Sorry, Tia, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I feel like people are kind of hating on Jessenia for having that conversation with Andrew and like bringing it up. But regardless, it got him to say what he was feeling. Yep. It got him to the point of saying, I'm still hung up on Teddy. Yep. If she wouldn't have had that conversation with him, we would have never known that, I feel like. Maybe until later or until the very end.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And bring that. That's something that you need to ask Jessenia, because why didn't she push that sooner? You know,
Yeah.
if she wanted to. I mean, I don't know, but I feel like you're right, because that was the first time we saw him like really open up about how he was actually feeling.
Yeah.
I think, you know what? I think now's the perfect time. Let's just bring Jessenia in, and we could ask her all about this Andrew NC and her experience on Paradise. So, please welcome Jessenia to the podcast. Jessenia, how you doing? Welcome.
I'm great. How are you? So nice to talk to you guys and catch up with you. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it has.
Miss you, girl.
I miss you. I know I need to come out to New York and see you.
Whenevs, we're here.
Perfect.
How has it been watching this season back?
It's been interesting. I think that, I mean, as you guys know, I've done this before. I was, with you, both of you on the beach, and even Tia too. Yeah, of course. So it's like, to see how that played back, I feel like perhaps it felt a little more accurate compared to this season. I think this season was definitely, felt a little choppier than I expected. But overall, just watching it, I think it was definitely pretty emotional, just as my first journey was.
Yeah. We're gonna get into all that. But why did you go again?
So I thought it felt right to go again because, to be honest with you, I always thought if I were to go back again, I'd rather go back-to-back seasons, so that I'm kind of still like on this like intentional journey of like meeting someone. And I was already, pretty much in that circle. So everyone kind of knew everyone. And anytime you'd hear, for example, I was curious about Andrew, I always heard really great things about him. So going into it, I thought, so all these people here are kind of vetted by friends in a way, so it felt right going again. And I really couldn't imagine myself going back years later, just because where I'm at in my life, I genuinely am eager to just move on from this and just kind of, focus on my career and all that stuff. So it felt like it made sense to just go ahead and go back if I was invited back.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that makes sense. Who was on your list of guys you wanted to see? Was there a list?
So I knew from guys that I knew of, for sure, Andrew was on my list. All the other guys I was kind of just open to meeting, considering they were seasons that I actually wasn't watching. So I was just kind of like, we'll see who I meet on the beach, that kind of thing. I had heard great things about Andrew, great things about, I believe his name was Erich. I wanted to meet Avon there, but he wasn't there. So it was a good short list that I had, but for the most part, I mean, most of the phone calls were like, well, your name's being dropped. So I thought, okay, well, anyone who's interested in meeting me, I'll be interested in meeting them.
Okay.
Did you watch Gabby and Rachel season and Katie's season?
I watched Katie's season. I was on and off with Gabby and Rachel just because I honestly was kind of tuning out of Bachelor stuff. So
Andrew was on Katie's season?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That feels so long
I
ago.
remember that. Yeah.
Yep, he was on Katie's season. Yes, he was. Because it was like a kind of like a mashup of them and then some other people who had been on the show.
As far as the women who were on the beach, it was mostly Clayton. Because for Matt, it was just me and Brittany, and then everyone else was Clayton. So
Did you have
and
any?
some alum.
Yeah. Did you have any relationships going onto the beach with any of the women or even any of the guys? Did you guys talk to anyone, or were you just like, nah?
No, if I ever talked to anyone, it was strictly on friendly social media level.
Yeah,
because
that's what I mean.
Yeah. And I mean, following each other, that kind of thing. Some guys from Gabby and Rachel season had followed me. I followed them back. I mean, we're kind of like a big living tree essentially, so everyone's connected. But I had never spoken to any of the women from Clayton season, so that genuinely was the first time I met any of them.
Okay.
Okay. So when you came in for split week,
Oh yeah, you were one of the fresh girls coming in with the fresh hair and makeup.
Yeah, which coming in first day last season to going and being thrown in kind of almost in the middle of it. I think we were only 2 weeks in or 1.5 weeks in or something. I was I already knew the dynamic would be tense because the girls wouldn't have particularly enjoyed that. So
were you prepped at all about split week, or did you have any clue?
Not at all. So I didn't know when I was going in, and I didn't know with who, if I was going in with anyone. Because as far as we know, like you could either go in solo with a date card or go in as a double date card, right? That's
Right.
the
Yeah,
only
that's all we've
structure we were
seen.
familiar with.
Mhm.
So when I showed up and then we were in holding and then another girl showed up and I'm like, oh, we're probably a double date. And then another girl showed up and then another girl. I was like, where is this going?
A quadruple
So
date.
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
so I was like, okay, I don't know what to expect now. They're definitely doing something different, but that's fun. Like whatever, let's go with the flow. So once they did tell us like, okay, for sure, like you guys are going down there. We didn't know. We thought maybe we were just going to spend the day, and if we connect, we connect. But when Jessie mentioned that we were going to swap with the women who were already there, that we found out the same time that they did. So we were very surprised.
Did that make your stomach drop a little bit?
Oh,
Or
of course. I was like, they already
Yeah.
are giving us like dagger eyes. I
Yeah.
imagine now. So yeah, I was definitely nervous about that.
You're like, thanks for the target on our back, guys.
Yes, for sure. But we had no idea what was going on in the beach the night before either. Like obviously watching it back, we see that they had like a rough day before. So we were like, okay, now we see why the energy wasn't even necessarily about us. Like they were already tuned out basically yesterday.
Right. Okay. So Andrew, what was it about him? I know you said he was someone that you were excited to see, but what was it about him during that split week that you were like, did you talk to other guys? Was it mainly just him? What happened?
No, I did speak with other guys. I spoke with Michael, for example, very briefly. And then I spoke with Jacob. I spoke with Logan. I mean, we were all pretty much mingling. Like the whole first night was like, oh, it's a pool party, whatever. So we were all mingling. And it was great. I thought the guys were awesome. I didn't know any of them, obviously, besides like what I had seen on social media. So it was cool to finally like put a personality on them, because there's obviously what you can show online versus what you can actually show to a person. And so then, I knew Andrew was someone that I wanted to meet. So when I finally got around to talking with him, I was like, okay, yeah, like I see everything that everyone says about him. He's fun. He's goofy. He's extremely sweet, has a really big heart. So like I knew, okay, yeah, I feel good about coming here because maybe there could be something here. Now, obviously, yes, he was like linked to Brittany for like a day before that. And even he told me, although he was apprehensive, that he was open. So that's the only reason why I ever felt that it made sense to pursue.
Did he talk to you at all about Teddy, the whole Teddy situation?
No, I know that I had heard around the grapevine about Teddy leaving, but I didn't know exactly how hard Andrew took it. Like I didn't realize like all of that of him crying and stuff after she left, that was new to me. I didn't know that he was that invested. So yeah, I was aware that he, they tried something, but I took it as like, oh, I guess it just fell through. It didn't work out. And of course, naturally, then he connected with Brittany, but that was still very new. So to me, it felt like, okay, like it's fair game. He's open to exploring, as he said. So I'm going to go ahead and see where this goes.
Yeah, you can only take it at face value. Of
No,
what
exactly.
you're being
And I think
told.
that's-
Yeah.
So like, there's only so much, like when you play telephone, it's hard. So.
And I think that's fair. I think he was open at that time. So can you get into more details about your time with him on the show and like just your relationship and kind of like where you guys were before NC came down?
So as far as where our relationship was, I mean, I guess from start to finish, because, what's unfortunate is so much was left out about the moments that we did spend together. Obviously, leading up to the night where NC or the night that I left, that was when everything was starting to click for me. So that conversation obviously was needed for me. But as far as like where we were, I genuinely felt like, okay, wow, like we both agree that we want to take things slow. We all know that Paradise, you kind of go at a faster pace, but we want to take it easy, kind of take back our power in a way and kind of go at our own flow. And he did say, he was a little guarded considering like everything that happened. And I felt like he was on edge most of the time, but for what reason, I didn't know. So I just...
Did you ever ask him? Did you ever try to pry more into like why he was kind of moping or upset?
Like started. Well, I mean, after I had arrived, I could kind of see like the way the energy there, it was really heavy. I'm telling you, like there was a moment on the beach where I was like, I really miss my cast from last season because I felt like we were so much better at bouncing back. We could have a hard day and the next day, okay, you know what, let's start new, whatever. But like this cast, and I'm not going to blame them for it either, but like they had such a hard time bouncing back. And I felt like Andrew definitely struggled with that as well. Now, whether or not he the entire time was still thinking about Teddy, even while we were connecting, I don't know, because that was at the end at our conversation last night. That was a bomb for me just as much as it was for everyone else.
Yeah.
So yeah, I knew that there were links, but I didn't know that he was that invested. And so when we were all connecting, like we were connecting on various things that we shared common interest in. Like all of our dates were like centered around like romantic comedies and like super cute and fun, whatever. And he was always very expressive. I feel good about, where we're going and this and that. So I always felt secure in it. So when NC arrived so close to the end of Paradise and he decided to go on a date, that definitely was a surprise for me.
A lot of
Where
his
did
bummed
you
out
think-
moments too. Sorry, Joe, but a lot of his bummed out moments, I feel like he was talking about when Rodney left.
Yeah.
Or he was like down because Rodney left. And I'm wondering if he thought he was bummed about that, but actually it was because of Teddy. I don't know. 'Cause I feel like Rodney leaving was heavy on everybody.
Oh, yeah. And I can see, because I don't know, a lot of the buzz online is like, oh, well, he, like, that was the most emotion he showed over anything. And it's like, I can see why people would think that, but that's just how it was shown, unfortunately.
Right.
Like, I have no doubt that he had other moments, especially like, for example, when he cried about Teddy leaving and like just the emotional roller coaster that is Paradise. He's going to be affected by that. And that's one quality of his that I always found really endearing was he wears his heart on his sleeve. He really does. And so when he finally revealed to me like where his head has been at the whole time, I remember only thinking like, I don't blame him for that. He's in his right to feel that way. But I just wish that was a realization sooner because I could have changed my direction completely.
But do you think that he, through talking it out with you, hashtag talking it out, through talking it out with you, do you think that's when it kind of clicked for him? Because I do think that sometimes men and him like going to hang out with his friends, whatever, it's kind of like you're not trying to think about your feelings. You're trying not to like think about these things. So sometimes I have realization talking to friends or talking things out, and maybe that's when he actually realized it in that conversation with you. Do you think that happened, or do you think he always knew it and then this is now how it's coming out?
I like to think that our last conversation was him realizing that. I think so. I really don't in any way want that. In no way, because this is what bothers me, is like the conversation is like who's wrong and who's right. There's no one wrong and there's no one right in this situation. Like everyone comes to their realizations in their own pace. And I do think that this was a conversation that needed to be had. That's why I had to have it before I left, because I didn't want to leave anything open-ended by the time I left Paradise. And so, yes, I do like to think that that's when he realized it. And great, I got my clarity and he got his clarity too. And my only concern was, well, NC doesn't know this. So, of course, the next step was he had to express that to NC as well.
I feel like you talking with him was very warranted, and you laid it out in a very matter-of-fact way, and that allowed him to see, okay, here are the facts. Here's what she's seen and what I've told her and why she's thinking this way. Like, I think it was a very good, productive conversation from you. And like, you stayed calm, and I really do think it made him realize,
NC
like,
didn't.
holy crap. Oh yeah, NC, no.
Well, that's the
She
thing.
lost
And
some shit.
I feel bad, but like that conversation was supposed to be shorter than it was.
Yeah.
And it, we kept getting interrupted, and I mean,
But it proved to be
but
important and beneficial. And if it wouldn't have happened, I mean, would he have stayed the rest of the time and like not figured it out? I mean,
Until afterwards.
who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
and the thing with Andrew, and again, like in I never ever want to be like team Andrew, team Jessenia. Like it's just a conversation that needed to happen between people who, yes, they were at some point linked, but at the end of the day, like they're friends. And so I felt that it was a necessary conversation. And I know with talking to Andrew, like his whole his whole messaging is, he's an athlete, so he doesn't give up and he should just push through. But when it comes to things like this, when you're talking about relationships and things that you're struggling with, you can't just push through that, because you have to sit and really evaluate yourself, where your head's at, what you're feeling. And then you have to do one of the three things: evaluate yourself, figure out what you're feeling, and then who are the people that I need to have a conversation with so that they don't become collateral damage in my emotional journey.
Oh,
That's what
so good.
So it's like, and I get it, you know, that athlete mentality of pushing through. I absolutely get that, but it does not work in this field at all.
Did he have a conversation with you after he connected with NC?
So
did you guys talk? Because I feel like we never really got to see that.
No, I noticed, and when he accepted the date, he did talk to me before he was going to go on the date. He did come talk to me, and then he left for the date.
Okay,
gotcha.
I want to go back to what you said. Like you said like we're at the end of paradise, so you were shocked that he went on a date with NC. But let's say he didn't go on that date with NC. Where were you thinking the relationship was going to go? Because, you know, knowing how the show works and it's towards the end, were you expecting engagement? Were you, what were you thinking?
No, I definitely wasn't expecting engagement, considering from the get-go, like the way we kind of built our relationship was going at our own pace, taking things slow, just having fun with it, you know, and really spending time together and digging deeper. But I in no way expected an engagement at the end of this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody like watching it.
But we
don't think you're close to being there. But
I certainly was open to, okay, well, if we feel good about where we're at right now at the end of paradise, then let's keep this going in the real world. Because as we all know, like that's the true test is how is this relationship going to mirror in the real world?
Right. Okay. So you were at that point where you were like, if we're still hanging out and enjoying each other's company, I would like to continue to do that. And then he would have had to be like, well, you know, either yes, I want to do that too, or you guys break up or whatever. And that's where you thought it was going to go if he didn't go on that date.
Fully ready for that conversation, regardless of what the outcome would have been. But I guess, you know, it just would have been nice if he had realized, you know, but I get it. Maybe I could have, you know, started that conversation sooner with him if I ever had like any doubt. But to be honest with you, you know, women had the roses most of the time this season. And anytime we would spend time together, obviously it was mirrored around the fact that, you know, are we going to do this for another week together? So anytime we would spend time together, you know, he would do something special for me. And then we would, you know, connect and have a really solid conversation that made me feel confident about giving him my rose. So let me tell you guys, I love you guys. You guys know, like we've done this together before. Like this was a really strange season.
Were you worried about
it was different.
Before you came on the podcast, we were kind of talking about just like, at least I said, like when somebody says like I want to take it slow, it's usually for paradise that usually doesn't work. Were you at all worried about like that you were in this relationship where things were going at a much slower pace?
I definitely was at some point, because there were moments where I felt like, okay, wow, like our conversation last night before the rose ceremony was awesome. I loved that conversation. I feel like we were kind of making great strides. And then the next day, there were more moments where Andrew was spending time with his friends than he was with me. And that's when it kind of like started to kind of click for me. I'm like, okay, is this a boys' vacation, or are you here to do paradise the way you're supposed to? And so that's how I started, you know, as the days went by, I was like, okay, he's definitely tuned out of this process.
Yeah, it doesn't help too to see couples like Brandon and Serene, and like Brandon can have his guy time, but he spends a lot of time with Serene
like
as well.
There were definitely guys that had like a really great balance, and I noticed that. I mean, women notice everything,
right?
Like,
it's hard not to compare when it's right there too.
Exactly. And so, you know, with Andrew, it kind of felt, you know, there was a moment where he did praise me. He was like, you know, I love that, you know, we have like this ability where I can like do my thing and you can do your thing, and then we'll like hang out. But in my mind, I'm like, yeah, but we only hang out in the moments where it kind of like matters, right? Like before a rose ceremony or at cocktail, or, you know, versus like throughout the day, like where are our like check-ins throughout the day while we're just kind of doing our thing? I really didn't get any of that.
No, I was just going to say your journey last season, I feel like it was more so, you know, you were with one person and then it was your choice to be with someone else. And then it was more like your choice in things. Whereas with this season, it's, you know, you were kind of zeroed in and locked in with him. And so you're trying to make this thing work. And I think that, you know, like for me, I hear take it slow, red flag, I'm out. You know what I mean? But that was my journey last season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that having this having this now, this taking it slow and everything like that, do you think, like, which approach do you think works better?
That's a good question, because I honestly, like, the only reason why I ever felt like, oh, this is okay to like know that he wants to take things slow was earlier on, because I was like, okay, like, yeah, we just got here. He was invested in Teddy at some point, then Brittany, now me. So perhaps he's feeling some type of way about he still hasn't found a connection, right? So if he wants to take it slow, at least for like the next few days, I get that. But obviously, you know, you get to a capstone in the middle of paradise where it's like, that's when relationships are really becoming more solid. And at that point, I felt like we were just kind of like coasting it. And so knowing now what I know now, I think every approach has to be different for the individual. I can see why maybe taking it slow would be a red flag. But I can also see why it would be nice to kind of build a friendship foundation or whatever. But like, it's paradise. Like, it's definitely at a faster pace.
You can take it
So
slow,
it is hard
like
to
in
say.
an upward, still at an upward manner. Like,
Right. You still
rate.
have to hit these milestones.
Yeah.
You still kind of have to hit these moments of like, you feel not stagnant. I think that stagnant feeling, and we all feel it. Like you said, women feel things, right? We see things, we feel things. We feel it. And I just think sometimes it's hard to act upon it. And listen, I think it's so hard watching. It was so hard watching your story because it was like Jessenia wants closure. Andrew needs to realize this thing. He realized it, and that's all. You know what I mean? Like, everyone has their individual journeys, and I just felt for all of you, really. And seeing now, like you said, watching it back, how different it was. How with NC, I want to bring her into this. What was your relationship and or thoughts about NC before she came up to you when you went to grab him? You didn't be like, hey, girl, I'm sorry, but I'm about to grab him because I had to talk to him about something. Like, were you guys friends? Were you talking? What?
So I didn't know. I only knew that she was from Clayton season. She and I obviously like didn't really actually have any conversation because she was immediately, you know, linked to Andrew. So like it was, you know, it's awkward.
It's awkward.
And so I remember I didn't have like any friendship or relationship with her necessarily. You know, I pulled him for a conversation. In no way was it me and, you know, wanting to slight NC. I didn't know her. I didn't have any problems with her. Like, she came on the beach and she, you know, wanted to find love and all that. And she's in her right to do that.
I don't think it came across that way, though. I don't think it came across.
I hope so, because I know that she, you know, had an issue with it.
Yeah, but I don't personally, I didn't watch that and think like, how could Jessenia do this to NC?
well, it's not like you pulled him off the dance floor, like
While they were kissing.
Yeah.
And you guys had, like, she was only there for a day. You guys had more of a history. So,
Yeah,
you know,
and
I don't think it came across that way.
right. Okay, good. I'm glad, because I know that when we were having the, I don't know if you read body language, like it was very obvious that it wasn't like I was trying to like get Andrew back or like whatever.
Right.
It was very much like, we need to talk and like be serious. And so, as I said, like that conversation was absolutely intended to be so much shorter than it was, which is why it got to a point where we were like talking in circles, because every time NC would interrupt us, it was like I would be frazzled because I was so surprised. I was like, okay, why does she keep interrupting us? Like, I'm trying to get this over with because I want to leave. And so it's like, it just wasn't getting anywhere because, you know, we kept getting interrupted. And I absolutely appreciate Andrew for just being honest with her and saying, you know, this is nothing. It's fine. I just need to finish this conversation. Give me a moment. Like, and I think in that point, like when you get that reassurance from your partner, you should feel like, okay, I'm going to trust them. They're going to do their thing and I'll be right here for them. So, but with her interrupting us, 2-3 times, I think it was twice. It was like, okay, I'm trying to get somewhere and it's not landing. So to me, at the end of that conversation, I remember thinking like, this went nowhere, but okay. You know, so.
But it did. It was a good conversation.
But did you, from at least watching it, it seemed like it did get somewhere.
Yeah.
And you got the clarity that you needed. In the moment, you didn't feel that way?
In the moment, because, you know, there's so many like emotions involved. You're just like, I don't even remember what I just talked about. I just hope that I made my point. Right. And so, of course, like when I did see it back, I was like, okay, like I can see that, you know, things did land at some point, and there was this realization, this moment of clarity that we both needed. And even more so that NC needed as well, because there was a moment in one of the episodes where I even say, like, I just feel for NC because she doesn't realize she's taking someone who is guarded, right? And like, we'll see how it turns out for her, right?
Yeah,
So,
I remember that.
Sorry, that was my dog. But you know, it's like everything comes to the surface at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, I mean, it didn't work out. But like, you know, and that, you know, whatever. I mean, and that sucks, you know, especially you did it again, but you took a chance and, you know, whatever.
Have
know,
you
like
talked to Andrew since?
I spoke with Andrew after Paradise. I remember giving it like a few weeks because, like, as we all know, like, it's such a funky transition from being like in lockdown filming and then going back home. And, you know, I spoke with some close friends and some mutual friends, and I was like, you know, how is he doing? You know, and I remember thinking I would actually love to like reach out to him because I didn't want our first conversation to be at the reunion.
Right.
Just to be totally honest. Like, I did to have cameras. Like, yeah, I definitely love Andrew as a person, and I wanted us to have that conversation of like, hey, how are you? Like, this is where my head was at, why I wanted to talk to you and all that stuff. And there were definitely, like, the conversation was long unintentionally, but there was so much talking in circles that things kind of started blending together, that there were things that I wanted to clarify with him, like, this is what I mean. And so it was, I like to think, okay, I said my piece, you know, he's doing fine, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to what I was saying, I didn't want to just end it with, so it didn't work out for you. But Jessenia, we're going to play a game with you.
Okay.
But before we do, like, a few things. Any regrets, and would you do it again?
You know, at this point, I think I very much have developed the mentality of it is what it is. I don't have any regrets. I think perhaps I could have maybe had the conversation with Andrew sooner, but I just genuinely felt like, you know what, like, things will develop, things will get better. Would I do it again? Absolutely not.
Okay, nice. The reunion is coming up. Can you tease anything for us?
Nothing but daggers throwing left and right.
Ooh.
Okay.
I can't wait. I'm so jealous
was there,
over
so I
there.
saw-
Well, Joe, we
they
were
know.
there. We were there.
Yeah.
We had to dodge a few.
I mean, I turned and looked at you guys. I was like, this is nuts.
There was one time Jessenia did turn around and she was like,
It was so.
Like, see, now you see what I was dealing with.
Let's
Yes.
play a game.
we're going to
Rapid
play.
fire.
We're going
Okay.
to play a game with you. It's rapid fire. First person that comes to mind. Okay, so everyone that you've seen so far that you've seen. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
First person that comes to mind. All right. Biggest flirt on the beach.
Biggest flirt, Mara.
Most dramatic on the beach.
Oh, Genevieve.
Life of the
love
party.
With their designer bags down the jungle beach.
It's
Yeah, I know,
5
right?
times.
No.
Who is the life of the party?
Andrew.
Most
Had
likely
his
to be
moment.
found sleeping on a daybed.
Brandon and Serene. Every day, all day.
Most surprising hookup.
Flo and Justin. Flo and Justin.
Who?
Flo
Yeah.
and Justin, one of the twins.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I was like, Justin. What? Okay,
Yeah,
yes,
oh,
one of the
yeah,
twins.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. Best dress.
Best dressed. Ooh. That's a good one because I feel like a lot of the ladies were really pretty. I might have to give that to Shanae.
Shanae, yeah. Okay.
I think a lot of her pieces
She's
were very
got a lot of
simple, but like they look really good on her.
Mm-hmm. Biggest glow up from their season.
That's difficult because I don't know most of them, but I think probably I would say Kate, just because I think that we didn't see much of her from Clayton's season.
Okay. Biggest gossip on the beach.
Kate.
Yeah. Also,
Kate had the tea. Biggest what the fuck moment in Paradise. Whether it happened to you or you saw in the season, just in general, what were you like, what?
Oh, well, I mean, I think the switch was obviously a big what the fuck moment, and no one was expecting that. It's because everyone thinks they know how Paradise runs, but I guess that's going to be the thing now. Is everything's going to be different every season?
Yep. Couple most likely to get married.
Brandon and Serene.
Okay, last one. Who was your favorite bestie girly pop on the beach?
Kate.
Kate. Okay, good.
Who's the most toxic couple?
I mean, all love, but Aaron and Genevieve. It was
1,000%.
like, what is this?
We didn't talk about the itching and the pain earlier in our podcast either, which was fucking absurd.
Oh my God. Absurd.
We can't even get into it. We can't even. We can't even get into it. It's so ridiculous.
Look it up. On what phone?
Aaron. We don't have our phones. We can't look up anything.
Yeah. On what phone?
I started typing in is itching, and all I had to type in was is IT, and it brought up first thing is itching, low level pain. So many people looked at
trending on Google.
It is. Those two made a trend on Google. They should get, I don't know, they should get something. They should get their own show. All right, Jessenia, this was a lot of fun. We appreciate you coming on.
Thanks. It was always nice catching up with you guys.
Yeah.
Yes, you too, babes.
All right. Jessenia. Tia, actually, did you see this? I reposted it. I thought it was pretty funny. Did you see this yesterday?
Oh my God,
that was so good.
The Bachelorette.
So good.
Okay.
Joe said we move fast.
Yeah. Can we just talk about how wild it is that since last year, the first Paradise King and Queen are married, Theka is engaged, and Tia has a baby on the way.
What? And they posted that account posted that. I just put my Ladybug prom dress in the attic yesterday. I still can't get rid of it. It will never fit again, but my God. What a time. Wow. What a freaking time. Again.
We can turn it into a top, babe. We'll turn it into a top.
Oh, yeah. It's so itchy, too. It was good. It was good seeing Thomas and Becca on this episode.
Too. Oh my God, it was.
Happy.
It was so
happy
good.
down there. Yeah,
and them leaving leaving Paradise, finally leaving Paradise together.
Yeah, that was really cute.
Also, Thomas coming out like this.
Oh, and all the guys were like, because Gabby and Rachel had just shown their rings, right? I couldn't figure out the timeline in my head, but
that was so hilarious.
Yeah,
I was screaming.
Andrew said, "Ladies, take notes."
And I wanted to shoot him off my TV at that moment. I was like, Andrew, just stop, please. The damn girl begged your ass to stay. Begged you to stay. She had to get a ring out for your ass for you to stay. Come on, Andrew.
Oh, Lordy mercy.
Well, Jessenia, she was great.
Yeah, she's very well spoken, and I like talking with her.
I love her.
Going on the show second time. It didn't work for Tia either.
It didn't. And look where we are.
Look at her now.
It led me here. I mean, I'm glad it didn't work.
Also, hold on. Wait a minute. Did y'all hear the tea, though? The tea was she was hoping to see Avon. Avon, if you listen to this podcast, I don't know if you do, if y'all know him, slide in them DMs, Avon.
Yeah, and Avon, I need to see more of Avon.
I know.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure he'll be on next season. So cute,
by the way. This is now, look, I am a Jessenia.
Oh, that'd be like a little tiny girl, tall guy situation, too.
It's so cute.
I can just see it.
So cute. I can see that, too. Okay, done. Look, love.
Thank you so much to our listeners, and thank you to Jessenia for being here. Make sure to catch new episodes of Bachelor in Paradise every Monday and Tuesday on ABC or stream on Hulu.
And as always, make sure to subscribe and submit all your questions, comment, DM us. You know where to find us at ClickbaitBN on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. All the links to all our socials are right there on that page. And I got something else for you guys. If you are single or you know someone who is single, go to our website to nominate or apply. BachelorNation.com/apply. Check it out.
And share your stories with us. We want to know what clickbait you're looking at this week. And Prime members, make sure you listen to Clickbait ad-free on Amazon Music. Download Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus and Apple Podcasts. But before you go, tell us about yourself. Complete a short survey at Wondery.com/survey. We will see you guys next week. Goodbye. Bye.
Bye.